Hey yo, E-King Fight News. Y'all know what it is, man. We're back at it. Lennox Lewis commented on Anthony Joshua, and he had some blunt words for him. First and foremost, he said, brother, you gotta cool down. Cooler heads need to prevail with these negotiations. And he also mentioned, for the first fight, a 60-40% split is very reasonable and fair for Deontay Wilder. So let's get it more on this, guys. E-King Fight News. Alright, so in case you haven't realized, there appears to be an interesting situation where an all-time great British heavyweight champion, in fact, the last undisputed heavyweight champion, Lennox Lewis, has been critical on Anthony Joshua. In recent memory, he said Joshua had changed his tune when it comes to the Deontay Wilder fight. And in fact, he also said that 60-40, which is what Wilder has been asking to go over to the UK, is very reasonable and is as fair as it gets in terms of a percentage split in favor of Anthony Joshua, right? 60% for Joshua, 40% for Wilder. It makes Joshua the A side, and you know, it's something that Wilder would not hesitate to take for a fight in the UK. We all know Eddie Hearn did not want to refused. He flat out refused to give Wilder any percentage split and said, you know what? Wilder is not worth a percentage split. In Eddie Hearn's own words, he's a massive risk. A massive risk. We could fight Joe Blow and make 15 to 20 million, and then we could fight Joe Blow again. Well, it looks like you ran out of Joe Blows. It looks like you ran out of the Eric Molinas. You ran out of the Dillian Whites. Now you got to recycle Dillian White. Fucking have a rematch with him, because I know that's what you want to do. But guess what? You got to get through Alexander Povetkin, the Russian supplement king. Alexander Povetkin. So, you know what it is, man. You really know what it is at this point. Eddie Hearn is backed into the corner. As the brothers would say, the walls are closing in on Anthony Joshua. Shout out to Ego, because I know he likes to say that one. The walls are closing in on Anthony Joshua. I mean, this reminds me of a situation that Manny Pacquiao was in many years ago. He had two options on the table. He had Juan Manuel Marquez, or he had Timothy Desert Storm Bradley. He had just lost to Bradley, and he was looking at names like Ruslan Provodnikov, Brandon Rios, Mike Alvarado, but in actuality, his promoter wanted to put him against Juan Manuel Marquez in their fourth installment of what was a highly anticipated rematch. Pacquiao had the other option of Tim Bradley. And what happened was, coming off of that loss, he did not want to face Tim Bradley directly once again. So he turned out to go ahead and face Juan Manuel Marquez. And guess what happened? He got knocked stone cold the fuck out against Juan Manuel Marquez. And AJ's in a similar situation. He's got the Deontay Wilder undisputed mega fight, which had all the money on the table. It had upwards of $50 million that could have gone to him if he had taken the initial offer from the initial counter offer from Deontay Wilder. That didn't happen. That never happened. Eddie Hearn turned it down. Eddie Hearn did everything in his power to avoid that offer. He tried everything in his power to downplay that offer, to say, you know what, that $50 million, it can't be real. Where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? Meanwhile, Shelly Finkel confirmed that offer was in fact legitimate, right? So, moving on, they went on and offered Deontay Wilder $15 million. And this is where Lennox Lewis got critical, because he said, you know what, this ain't right. This is not right. Deontay Wilder is the longest reigning heavyweight champion, and he deserves a fair shake in this fight, even though he'll concede. The first fight should be in Wembley. That Wilder has already said. Now it's getting on to damn near a year ago that he'd be willing to go to the UK and fight Anthony Joshua. But here's the scoop. Let's get into what Lennox Lewis had to say. You all know what it is, man. He can't fight. All right, shout out to World Boxing News. Heavyweight great Lennox Lewis, the last man to be undisputed, wants Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder to cool off before getting back to negotiations. This is exactly what he had to say. AJ versus Wilder is the biggest fight in the heavyweight division. They will make more than each other ever has because they both bring a level of interest to this match. You see that? You see how this is not biased ass Tony Bellew talking saying no one knows Wilder? Both of these guys bring interest. Wilder brings a lot of interest from the US. He also brings the only opportunity for AJ to have a US pay-per-view. And, you know, it would be a dual broadcast. You know, Showtime, Sky Sports would once again do a co-feature together. And AJ gets a cut of 2 pay-per-views. Sky Sports Box Office and Showtime US. So, I mean, Deontay Wilder's the only opponent that Anthony Joshua can really take advantage of that kind of revenue stream, right? And according to Lennox Lewis, this is what fans want to see. Negotiations should reflect that. I would say 60-40 split in AJ's favor at Wembley for the first fight. It's give and take, but the upside of Joshua versus Wilder for the fighters and the fans should make this fight a reality and cooler heads prevail. So that's what he had to say. As I mentioned before, he is willing to. Lennox Lewis putting the point out there saying, you know, 60-40, in his opinion, is more than fair. So there you have it, man. Lennox Lewis, the last undisputed heavyweight champion. So, I mean, moving forward, Deontay Wilder, the man who has options on the table. A known option, Dominic Brazil, and perhaps an unknown option in a potential fight with Tyson Fury, the lineal heavyweight champion, as most people consider him to be, coming back. You know, that fight might come to fruition. But Anthony Joshua has bigger problems. He's got Alexander Povetkin on the table. And we know that's a difficult fight. Now Eddie Hearn is coming out saying, Joshua, I told you shouldn't have taken this fight, Joshua. Why did you take this fight, Joshua? It's the WBA. They have a good relationship with us. I don't know, man. Like these guys just go back and forth. They contradict themselves constantly. But the one consistent thing that seemingly they've always sort of had this mindset is the fact that they have not wanted any part of a Deontay Wilder fight. And I'll say it once, I'll say it again on this channel. As long as Anthony Joshua plans on ducking Deontay Wilder, he's gonna get that bitch ass treatment over here. Cause you know what? We don't tolerate ducking over here. If you're a fighter and you're ducking someone, just like I called out Sean Porter for ducking Earl Spence, just like I called out Keith Thurman for ducking Earl Spence, just like I'll call out Manny Pacquiao for ducking Terrence Crawford. If you don't want no smoke, man, you ain't gonna get any love on this channel. I'll tell you that much. There's no love for hoes. There's no love for bitch ass fighters that want to play the A-side card. Oh, I'm the A-side. Oh, you have to be reasonable. Oh, and when Wilder agrees to every single one of your demands, when it comes to purse split, when it comes to venue, when it comes to location, you guys come up with excuse after excuse after excuse to try and duck and dodge, to try and avoid, to try and stall, and at the end of the day to try and fight other guys. And we all know what's going to happen, man. Dillian Whyte's going to go in here. I personally hope Joseph Parker puts a beating on him, as he should. He is the more skilled boxer. But if Joseph Parker ends up looking lackluster, if he ends up looking like he took a dive, and Dillian Whyte finds a way to either get a questionable decision or some kind of controversial victory, you wait and see. Eddie Hearn's going to match up his boy Anthony Joshua in a rematch with Dillian Whyte over any other fight that really should happen. So E-King Fight News, let me know what you guys think, man. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you ask me, this Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Povetkin, this is probably going to be announced for Wembley Stadium in 2018. E-King Fight News, man. Let me know what you guys think, and we're out. Peace.